Thank you so much for the introduction, Wayne, and thank you for inviting me here tonight. My experience with Hillel has truly changed my life, and I'm so excited to have the chance to tell my story to you. Just 6 weeks ago, I was standing in Radom, Poland with my family, including my 87-year-old great-aunt. We were looking at the remnants of the lost community where she and my grandfather lived both before and during the Holocaust. We saw the vestiges of the ghetto where they were imprisoned, and we visited Auschwitz, where so many of their friends and family perished. This was likely the last time that my great-aunt will visit these places, and I am so lucky to have had the opportunity to share this with her. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Standing here tonight, I will tell you that I would not have gone to Poland if it were not for the powerful influence that Hillel has had on my Jewish identity. It's true that being the grandchild of a Holocaust survivor has given me an increased sensitivity to being Jewish, but I came to campus with the same ambivalence and apathy as any other person my age. When my parents dropped me off at Northwestern University for my freshman year back in 2005, they helped me unpack, they gave me big hugs, and like tens of thousands of other Jewish parents around the world, they urged me to go to Hillel on Friday night. So naturally, I did exactly what tens of thousands of other Jewish kids around the world do. I laughed. My dad. But when Friday night rolled around, I somehow ended up at Hillel for services and Shabbat dinner with a group of people that I remained friends with throughout college. We all recognized that we had this unspoken connection that would always tie us together, but few of us stepped foot in the Hillel building again that year. Fast forward almost 2 years to the end of my sophomore year, when two of my friends urged me to apply for a program called the Campus Entrepreneurs Initiative, or CEI. On campuses across North America, CEI recruits students with broad social networks to serve as peer engagement workers and build relationships with hundreds of uninvolved Jewish students across campus. Being one of those uninvolved students myself, CEI was a perfect fit for me. Through the program, I connected with dozens of my friends and formed new relationships as well. Together, we explored our Jewish identities in new ways that were appropriate for our age and for our college lifestyle. It was the first time that we took ownership of these identities since leaving home. For example, I spent the afternoon of Yom Kippur setting up a breakfast identical to the one I attended at home each year, only it was in a dorm room. And on Sunday nights, I often hosted dinners where we would order in Chinese food, because that was my family's Jewish ritual on Sunday nights. My year-long efforts culminated in a final project that proved to be my best engagement effort. For years, my parents had urged me to go on a birthright trip, but Northwestern's calendar did not line up properly with birthrights, so I and hundreds of students like me were unable to participate. Putting on my CEI hat, I saw this as a challenge and not an impossibility. I got special permission to organize a one-of-a-kind birthright trip for students who shared our trimester calendar. Working with my fellow Northwestern CEI interns, we recruited dozens of students to fill a bus. And that September, 40 Northwestern students spent 12 fabulous days in Israel. I'm very proud to say that I started a tradition with that trip, and last year, 7 buses, over 300 students, from a dozen different trimester schools traveled to Israel. I remained active with Hillel during my senior year and served as a CEI advisor, helping younger students with their engagement work. I became close with my Hillel professional advisor and with dozens of Jewish students who I met through the program. Although I graduated almost 2 years ago, Hillel continues to influence my life today. As an analyst at Goldman Sachs, I barely have time to breathe, and I'm sure this resonates with many of you in the room. But when I do have free time, I tend to spend it in Jewish-oriented activities. One of these programs is 3GNY, a New York-based group for the grandchildren of Holocaust survivors. Through 3GNY, I have learned to tell the story of how my grandfather and his family survived the ghetto, the death camps, and ultimately the Second World War. I recently went to Brooklyn Generations High School and told my family's story to a group of 30 10th graders. It was an unbelievable experience, and I can't wait to go back and teach again. As you can all see, Hillel has truly enriched my life, and I just hope that I have given a little something back. Through retelling my family's story, our Jewish story, to high school students, through the creation of new Birthright Israel trips, through sitting on the board of Northwestern's Hillel, which I will begin to do next fall, and through speaking on behalf of Hillel and the wonderful impact it has had on me and continues to have every day. So, on behalf of hundreds of thousands of Jewish students around the world, I want to thank you all for being here tonight, and I would like to thank you for everything you do for Hillel.